Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monsters of the Mind. What? Oh, no. I'm not Mr. G. I'm his father, Ludwig von Lussmanberger, whatever my last name is. Honestly, I keep forgetting. I've forgotten it so many times. Sometimes I think my last name is Jaredson. Sometimes I think it's, something else. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm his father. But I just said that already. Anyway, my son was over for dinner last night, and he told me his next video was about cyborgs, and I wanted to do it because, as you can see, I am a cyborg! Fascinating, huh? You're probably wondering how I'm a cyborg. Well, that's actually a long and interesting story. You see, one day, I was looking at my arm, and I was just like, how come I don't have a metallic arm? So I tore my arm clean off using a hacksaw, and I replaced it with this cool metallic arm that's better than any other metallic arm that ever existed. And you could not deny it. As for the eye, well, let's just say there's a reason I don't trust cephalopods. Anyway, let's move on to today's subject. As I said earlier, we're talking about cyborgs, such as myself. Cyborg is a combination of cyber and organism. They're a species, although if you ask me, I find it confusing that he wrote species. I mean, species would imply that they're like a group of a scientific name, but cyborgs are literally just other beings but with cybernetic parts, so shouldn't it be more like a condition or something? I don't know, I didn't write this, my son did. Anyway, their morality also varies, just like machines themselves, but you can trust me though, I'm a good guy. I mean, can't you just hear it in my voice and my scruffy beard? That's true signs of a good guy. Anyway, cyborgs came all throughout the world and they're a general sci-fi concept. Although I can't really call them sci-fi, since you're looking at one right here. And am I fictional? No! The only real requirement for being a cyborg is that you must be an organic being with robotic parts somewhere either on or in your body. Personally, I think the requirements for being a cyborg are too loose. I think they should be stricter, because cyborgs should be more interesting than just people with, like, a metallic armpit or something. Anyway, there are many different levels of being a cyborg. Some cyborgs just have a single mechanical arm or some other robotic body part, while other cyborgs are almost completely mechanical with only very few biological parts left. Okay, that's the other extreme of cyborgs, and I think those people are even worse. What's even the point of being a human anymore if you're just gonna replace all your parts with robot parts? At that point, just upload your brain into a robot like my second cousin did. According to most sources, one of the earliest depictions of a cyborg came from Edgar Allan Poe's poem known as The Man That Was Used Up, which is about a man who had basically every part of his body replaced with mechanical replacements. Since then, cyborgs have become very popular in sci-fi stories due to just how flexible they are as a concept. Some cyborgs are used just for spectacle by giving them a bunch of cool weapons and superpowers, and making them basically superheroes. Other cyborg stories are played for horror, where cyborgs are portrayed as unthinking beings that have lost all their humanity. Well, if you're just gonna do that, why not just use robots to begin with? What's the point of making them half-human? I don't get it. Other cyborg stories are played for drama, dealing with the implications of what it would be like to be half-machine. And in some cyborg stories, the people aren't in control of their actions, but rather their machine parts are forcing them to do things against their will. But those kinds of stories are also stupid. Why not just use robots if you're having a creature conflicted about itself? Why do they need to be humans? Much like how the term robot didn't actually exist until the 1920s, the word cyborg actually originated in the year 1960. Now, calling cyborgs monsters of the mind is kind of debatable, considering that nowadays, thanks to advancements in medicine and technology, there are indeed people out there who have mechanical replacements for lost limbs or other body parts. In fact, if you have a pacemaker, you could debatably be considered a cyborg. Although these people always fall on the lower end of the cyborg spectrum, as there's yet to be a mostly mechanical-style cyborg in real life. So, in conclusion, cyborgs are cool, and I totally recommend dabbling into cyborg technology if you have the time and resources and money. I have all three of those things ever since I got discharged from the military. And by the way, my discharge is completely honorable. Whoever says otherwise is a liar. So yeah, I recommend dabbling with cybernetics. I made a group of cybernetic tarantulas once. They might have ended up escaping, and I cannot find them, and there's been a lot of reports of vaporized lizards all over my neighborhood, but still, I made them, they're cool, and I just need to find them, and maybe disable their death rays. Anyway, apparently I'm supposed to look at a card about cyborgs, so let's do this! This poor sucker. He should have gone to me. I would have given him proper cybernetic technology instead of whatever all this junk is. I hate these kinds of cyborgs, the ones that just have random junk thrown on them with no rhyme or reason. Whoever made this guy should lose all their scientific doctorates, unless they're a rogue scientist, and I'm terrified of those guys. Luckily, I'm not one. I am totally not a rogue scientist. Whoever told you that is a liar. This card also mentions the types of cyborgs who aren't in control of their actions, but like I said, why don't those stories just use robots for those kinds of scenarios? Anyway, because this card is a gross violation of scientific protocol, I give this card a 2 out of 10. Although, according to this, it actually gets a 10 out of 10 because with cyborgs, there's not really anything to mess up on. Sheesh, my son can be a pansy sometimes. And now, let's look at cyborgs in mainstream media. I refuse to call it pop culture because pop culture was the name of my band back in middle school, and I hate being reminded of those days. There's the dark guy from that movie where the stars are fighting or something. Star Wars, I think. There's the robotic officer guy. RoboCop, I think his name is. That one comic book company with the backwards CD in their logo as a character name just called Cyborg, which is a lazy name. There's the green guy from the series named after the thing angels have on their heads. There's this Pokemon that's a cybernetic cockroach. Disgusting. There's these guys from that show about the confused doctor or something. There's this old TV show about the people who spent way too much money on somebody. But those guys aren't as cool cyborgs as I am. Cyborgs are awesome. And I will say again, you should definitely dabble with cybernetics, kids. Just make sure you get your parents' permission first. But now, I must be out. And remember, I am not a mad scientist. I'm an eccentric scientist. So, peace out, and see you guys next time. Well, I won't. My son will be coming back. But who knows? You might see me in a future video. So, peace out, everyone. And goodbye, and good night. Unless you're watching this during the day, in which case, what am I talking about? Anyway, good night, goodbye, and all those other greetings. Just leave. Now, why are you still watching this? Are you expecting there to be something else? Alright then, how about I just go on for about an hour so that the video, gets artificially extended? Well,